Hey, what's up everybody? John at Midnight Paint Body here with you again. Hey, in this video I'm going to be working back on the 1970 Charger RTSE. Hang out for a minute and I'll show you what we're going to be doing. Alright, welcome back everybody. So if you've been following along with this car at all, you'll know that in the last video I did weld in the floor pan. I have welded in the frame rails. So now that I've made the car rather solid, I've got the gaps where I want them to be. I don't know how well you can see this, but you can see the gaps are now all really nice. So you can see here, gaps are all straight and true, everything's sitting right. This does stick out a bit because there's a quarter panel extension that's going to be bolting onto the back there. So I think in this video I'm going to be moving on to welding up the rocker panels. So that'll be the next step in making this thing solid. As you can see, I already fitted everything. I pre-drilled everything for the plug welds. So I'm just going to move on to that. You will notice I'm going to leave the doors on. They are going to stay on until everything is solid, just so that I retain my gaps, because I'm going to weld on that rocker, and then the quarter panels and everything will be coming off, and I'll be welding in the trunk floor and all those pieces. And then when I put the quarters back on, I'll know where to line them up to the doors. And then after that's all welded, the doors can come off and any finish welding can be done. So I don't know how much content I'll have in this video. It might just be a whole bunch of welding, but we'll kind of see what happens here. So, all right, let's get started. Look at that all welded up. I just went in and just cleaned up all the welds a little bit, so just kind of show you where we're at. I do like to go back in. Sometimes you see some of these welds, if there's a lot of porosity, I'll just touch those up with the welder. So yeah, that rocker panel is welded in place. You always want to keep double checking your gaps, make sure nothing's moved, so the door is still where I want it to be. So from there, I think I'm going to move over to the other side, get that welded up, and then I think I'll be pulling the quarter panels back off and carrying on to probably the trunk floor. Well, it's lunchtime. I thought I'd take a little break to go enjoy the weather. Yeah, it's like -20, snowing again. Good times. Better turn off my old rotating light. Well, there you go. Yard plowed again. And yes, those are 3 customer vehicles right there that hopefully I don't need to get out before spring. Okay, back to work. Okay, quick update on the passenger side. I didn't bother keeping the camera rolling, but so passenger side rocker is welded. So I believe take her back apart, quarter is going to come off. I do have a little bit of welding, a little bit of work to do on the trunk lid before it's ready to go in, so I'll probably play around with that before I do this. So this might not happen today, but yeah, I will keep you guys posted. So I moved on to cleaning up the trunk floor a little bit. If you remember from an earlier video, I cut 3¼ inches out of the floor, moved it in to fit with the wide wheel tubs. Since I had it all together, I actually did have to, I put a cut around there, and I had to push this back, about 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch. Just the trunk floor just wasn't going ahead quite enough. So I had to do that to get it fitting just right, but that's all taken care of. So I think it's time to move on to taking the car apart. Okay, car is torn down once again. It is actually the next day once again. So I just figured I'd show you guys where I'm at before I carry on. So yesterday I welded the rockers into place, mostly. Had to get the quarter panels back off. There is some finish welding to do on the inside. This new hinge pillar, spot welds need to be done. I need to do a couple plugs in this piece as well, get that welded on. Have to make a little piece here. I want to cut that little bit of rot out. Once I finish that bit on the rockers, then the inner and outer wheel houses are going to come back out so I can prep them up for welding, and then they're basically going to get welded in. So yeah, nothing real exciting today, just a whole bunch of welding, I think. Hopefully I'll get all of that done and then move on to putting the trunk floor in, but I can't put the trunk floor in until I weld these braces in. This one I had done a light sandblast on, but it needs to be blasted again and epoxied before I weld it in. It's still a little ugly. But it is -24 and windy today, so sandblasting is probably not going to happen, and that piece won't fit in my cabinet. So anyway, we'll see what we get done. So there was just a really simple little bit of metal work to show you guys. You see the way I clamped it in place. I wanted to keep that alignment hole in exactly the right spot. And then basically what I did, I just did the butt and cut and butt. So had it in place, started cutting, started welding, pulled the old piece off the back so it's butt welded. I can clean up the back nice. I mean, this is all going to be completely covered once the quarter panel goes on. No one's ever going to see it again, but you still want things to be reasonably nice. So all of this I will clean up and prime, and then I'm probably going to run a bead of seam sealer along the bottom. It'll have it on the inside as well, but it just seals everything up a little nicer. So yeah, I think I'm going to move on to putting those wheel tubs back in place, because that they can be put in for good now. But I might just go over and do the same bit on the other side, and then I'll come back to this. This brush on seam sealer is something I use a lot of. Again, another Dominion Sure Seal product, but I really like it. You just brush it over your welds or whatever you're filling. You can run a tape line and put your sealer on, then peel it off, so you've got a nice clean edge. In here doesn't matter so much, it's going to be completely covered. Okay, so I have this wheelhouse all welded to the car. I just went around like I did down there. I cleaned up the welds, put some weld-through primer on them, then put some brushable seam sealer over them. I just like to seal that stuff up. I just figure anytime you can, keep the moisture from getting back in between some of these seams and stuff, that it can't hurt. It's all covered up anyway. So yeah, so that's welded up. It's welded in here. I am going to be plug welding. I don't know if you can see in there, it's kind of dark. The tub to the frame, but I'm not going to do that until the trunk floor is in the car. And I was going to try and get that in this video, but I have a little bit of sandblasting and stuff to do, and it's just too damn cold out, so I think I will leave that for the next one. So I will leave this video here. As always, thanks for watching. I hope my videos help someone out with their projects. I'm always available to answer questions on the old social medias. So yeah, thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.